It was created in reaction to 9/11 because several of the hijackers who entered the U.S. did so using student visas. It's called the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, SEVIS for short, a database run by the Department of Homeland Security that keeps track of every foreign student issued a visa to come to the U.S.
We're required to report that the students actually come to the university and that they're enrolled in their courses and remain enrolled in their courses for each semester. And then we need to report if the students graduate or if the students were to leave.
The need is obvious. To prevent what the 9/11 hijackers were able to do, enter the U.S. under false pretenses and fall off the radar screen. Congressman Gus Bilirakis is a member of the House Committee on Homeland Security.
Because that's what happens. They come over on the student visa, and then they drop out of school, and then you never hear from them again.
How often does that happen? An exclusive ABC Action News investigation has discovered since the program began, thousands of foreign students have left their U.S. schools before graduation, but not left the U.S. And in many cases, the Department of Homeland Security has lost track of them. And nothing illustrates that more than this computer screen shown to us by Marsha Taylor, who runs the International Student Program at USF. The SEVIS database shows this unnamed USF student from Saudi Arabia was expelled and left the country. Fine. But another screen shows this unnamed student also left USF unexpectedly, but the SEVIS database doesn't have any record of them leaving the U.S.
Who makes sure that they do?
The Department of Homeland Security would need to make sure that they leave. Yeah.
Do they always?
I'm not sure.
You mean Homeland Security doesn't make sure when students leave school they leave the country?
That would be correct.
USF alone has over 1,400 international students. Taylor says every semester at least 8 leave unexpectedly for various reasons. And according to the Department of Homeland Security, just this year, over 7,300 foreign students nationwide left their programs prematurely, but remain in the U.S. illegally, including 145 students from Florida. Last year, 5% of all foreign students who remained here illegally attended schools in Florida.
I see it all the time. That's why we're filing this bill, and it's got to stop.
Bilirakis is introducing legislation requiring DHS to do a better job screening foreign students before they come into the U.S. and, more importantly, making sure they leave when they're supposed to.
We want to make sure that if they're leaving the program early, they're not here for the right reasons, they're not attending classes, the Department of Homeland Security is notified immediately, and they need to be deported.
Bilirakis' bill also requires foreign students to check in with school administrators in person every 30 days. So why doesn't the government track down the thousands of foreign students who leave school but not the country? The Department of Homeland Security tells us it prioritizes its cases to make sure that those who pose the biggest risk to national security are investigated first. Alan Cohn, ABC Action News.
Congressman Bilirakis introduced his legislation in the House earlier this month, and he's looking for a sponsor to take up the cause in the Senate.